Hi guys, welcome back to our channel.
We have a baby.
We have a baby. We have a special guest. Here he is. Today he is 3 weeks old. Wanted to tell you guys my birth story and give you an update on how Santino is doing, how we're doing. Everything has been great. It has been a wild ride these past 3 weeks, but it has been a beautiful journey. He is just the sweetest little thing.
It has been a crazy journey. Starts May 2nd, doesn't it?
Yes.
May 2nd. Taylor's mucus plug had fell that day, right? Or the night before?
The night before. So it was a pretty quick process for me because with the mucus plug, I know it sounds disgusting, but if you're a first-time mom, research that because that is a huge indication of possibly going into labor.
So everyone told us that, hey, the mucus plug is gone, so you got about a week to go, and they were wrong. So
with the mucus plug, it could put you into labor in a week or
as quick as hours.
And for me, it was hours.
So that happened Saturday. Sunday, I had a gut feeling that I probably shouldn't go to work, but Taylor's like, go to work, don't call out. I haven't ever called out at work, so I'm like, yeah, something tells me I shouldn't go to work. She's like, go to work, I'm fine. As I'm walking out, she's like cleaning this whole house. She's sweeping, mopping, laundry, the whole nine.
Nesting mode.
Yeah, her nesting mode was on point. And so I'm like, oh, she must be feeling great, nothing to worry about. I go to work, and I'm the supervisor at work, so I give my guys a heads up, like, hey, just a heads up, like any day now, my wife could give birth.
So Sunday, James went in for his overnight shift, and all day I was feeling great. Like he said, I was cleaning the house, I had all this energy, and come around 6 o'clock, I was on the phone with him around 6:30. He was doing his foot patrol at work, and all of a sudden I was sitting on the chair, and I felt this gush, almost like I peed my pants, and it really does feel like you're peeing your pants. It's like the weirdest feeling ever. So I'm like, babe, on the phone to him, and he's like, what's going on?
She's tried playing this prank on me plenty of times. But
that my water broke.
Yeah, it didn't work. But this time I knew something was on, like this is the real deal.
So I ran to the bathroom, sat on the toilet for a little bit, and sure enough, it was that my water broke. James came home immediately after.
I'm sick to my stomach, so I had just finished telling my friends or the guys at work, I'm like, hey, my wife could give birth any day now, but it's not today. Sure enough, it's that day, and I undressed so quick, call my bosses, I'm like, hey, I gotta run out. My wife's water broke. So we've seen plenty of YouTube videos where females' waters break, and like the head's coming out within minutes. So I'm like, oh God, I gotta get down from Salt Lake City to the south of the valley. I live about 21 minutes from work, so it's not terribly far, but it is a drive. And I'm just thinking, I'm like, man, she must be in pain, curled over like the toilet bowl, probably can't walk. I race home. I'm so happy yet so nervous. I'll never forget. I thought I was gonna pull over and puke. I have like the cold sweats.
So you get home.
I get home.
Biggest rush ever.
I like kicking this door. I'm like, let's go.
I was so calm that I was curling my hair. I was still packing my hospital bag. I wanted to go get food, and he was like, let's go. We gotta go. Rush out the door. Get to the hospital.
Because every video I've seen, like the women like barely make it out of the front door. And I was so shocked to see how calm she was. She was curling her hair. She's like, let's get food. I'm thinking Chick-fil-A, maybe pizza, let's get subs. And I'm like, whoa. This is not what I expected, which was cool. I mean, I'd rather that than anything else.
So going into the hospital, I can honestly say I had my dream pregnancy and my dream birth. It was not what I expected at all. I heard horror stories speaking to many women, and mine was just a breeze. And I'm very blessed and grateful that it was, because I had such a positive labor and delivery that I honestly would do it over and over again. I know that's not the case. Every pregnancy is different, but that's how much of a positive experience I had. So going into the hospital, we checked in, we got assigned our nurses, our room. Immediately when we got into our room, they hooked me up on Pitocin right away. That was around 11 p.m. And so I was hooked up on Pitocin. I was still dilated maybe 2 centimeters. And
very little. And
yes,
we got nervous because, you know, again, we thought it'd be bing bang boom, like Pitocin, she'd be at a 5, and from a 5, like baby head would be sticking out within like 2 or 3 hours. It wasn't like that at all.
No. Then a couple hours later into the night, maybe around 3-4 a.m., I knew I needed the epidural. And so the anesthesiologist came in, he gave me my epidural, which
Again
was not what we expected at all. Like, we were both expecting a needle this long.
Yeah, huge. I was like, oh my God, it's happening. This is the famous epidural. And it was a needle, it was a decent sized needle.
Yeah.
Taylor like flinched. She kind of just like flickered her eyes a little bit.
But I will take that over contractions, because at that time my contractions were intense.
I became like a mini nurse because the nurse showed me how to read the contraction on the screen.
Oh yeah, that was
I'm
cool
like,
to see.
We're having a contraction right now, ma'am. I was like, this is contraction time.
That was really cool. The epidural kicked in within 5 minutes, and I was relieved. I didn't feel anything. It was great. And then around that time, I was still dilated, maybe like 3 centimeters, so I was moving really slow. James and I had slept the whole night till the next morning, luckily. We woke up around 8 a.m.?
Yeah.
No, even
earlier than that.
Maybe like 7 a.m.
Doctors come in, the nurses come in and out to check on how dilated she is.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very minimal. At 11, she does her checkups, and she kind of like nonchalant like waves me over, and she's like, check this out. So I look over, you know, and Taylor's legs are spread open, and she's like, yeah, she goes, listen, I'm gonna call the doctor. And she's looking at me, kind of like pointing with her eyes that I should look down. And I'm like, oh my God, there's a head in there. It just out of nowhere, it went from like very little dilated to like baby's heads here. So it happened so quick. I'll tell you what, fellas, like that feeling right there is the most exciting yet sickening feeling. You're like, this is happening. Like this is the famous birth. Like this is, and it was weird for me to see the baby's head like stuck in such a small spot. Cause I'm thinking, I'm like, is this baby breathing? He's like blue, like his head was shaped like a football. I'm like, oh my God, like a million things are running through my head. And of course, I'm focused on her. I'm like, do you feel this? Like, are you okay? And she's like, yeah, what's happening? I'm like, I'll tell you later. Like, I want to freak her out.
So mind you guys, I gave birth at 12:09.
Doctor came in
at 11. So an hour later.
Yeah.
It did move really quick that morning, and then Santina arrived 12:09 a.m. And if you watched my labor and delivery video, which you should watch if you haven't checked it out, then you would know I pushed only 3 times, and he made his debut within 5 minutes.
I was so shocked because that's another thing. So here I am standing next to her. If you guys see the video, I'm holding her leg, clampy, I'm nervous, I'm excited. I don't know what to expect, and I'm also expecting the worst. So it was like 1 push, 2 push, the head was out, 3 pushes, the whole body was out. I'm like, what just happened? I'm like, this is not the way I pictured this. It's not the way everyone else gave birth. And
it's really crazy.
If you kind of see like in the video, I'm kind of like emotionless because
it just happened so quick.
It happened so quick. I couldn't digest anything. And the other cool part about that was, you know, for 9 months, you think about this baby, whether it's a boy or girl for you guys, and you say his or her name, but you never have a face to that baby. That was the weirdest part, was to finally put a face to the name. Finally, like, see that person, that baby, that miracle face to face was just incredible. I'm like, so it's so much to digest. So if you're not a crier, like I didn't cry that moment. All right, so if you're not a crier, don't worry, it'll hit you later. It hit me about about 12 hours later,
Yeah.
maybe a little less than that, I started like helping change diapers and swaddle the baby. I had to go back and forth home to go walk the dog because it was just Taylor and I. We had no help here. And on the drive home, one of my favorite songs came on, which actually also came on before we gave birth. It's one of the songs that we had played in our wedding, One More Time by Daft Punk. It played on the way back home, and the emotions, like I'm getting emotional right now just thinking about how this baby depends on me. Like anything and everything
that was going through your mind.
That's going through my mind. Everything and anything I do from this point forward directly affects my baby, and just to see that baby lock eyes with you and kind of look at you as like, you're my guy now, you know, like I look at you for help.
Yeah.
Like that feeling of responsibility was like it's a good feeling, but I just bawled on the way home.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, like this is it, like it's game on. So it was a great feeling. It'll hit you eventually, whether it's a few hours later or the next day. I guarantee you it will hit you.
Yeah, it's normal to not have that like overwhelming feeling right in the beginning. I mean, because there's so much going on.
So then after that, it was just smooth sailing.
Yeah, after that, right.
Latched.
After that, yeah, we got moved to the mom and baby postpartum, our postpartum room.
They're like mini hotels.
Oh yeah, the hotel, the hospital was great. And so we were in our postpartum room just for 24 hours, and then we were released to go home. And you know, he just got his first bath. They went over breastfeeding with me. He got a few shots. He got a lot of checkups done, a lot of tests done, like his hearing test, his heart test. But everything went great. He's a healthy baby. We just couldn't be any more blessed. So like I said, he is 3 weeks old today, and his last checkup was maybe about 2 days ago, and he is 7 pounds 8 ounces. 7 pounds 8 ounces. So he's been gaining weight, which is great.
Grew 3 inches.
Yes, he grew 3 inches.
He's 22 inches now.
Yes.
He was 19.
So all in all, he's really, really healthy. These past 3 weeks, James and I have just been trying to soak in all the newborn cuddles and snuggles.
He's already changing as we speak.
He changes every single day.
So
he looks different.
I'm able to go out for a little bit and go to the gym and kind of like get a routine going. And I noticed him change like within a few hours, and I'm like, his face like becomes less wrinkly. It's pushed out a little more.
Yeah.
His looks are starting. His attributes and features are starting to become a little more pronounced.
Yep.
And it's awesome to see that, but it's also sad at the same time.
I know. All in all, these past 3 weeks have been amazing. My mama heart can't take it that he's growing up so quickly. I mean, it really does fly by. That's one thing that everybody said, like, to just soak everything in, because they're only so little once, and it's in the blink of an eye that they just grow up so fast. So I have a few questions for Dada. I just want to ask him some fun question, how he feels about my pregnancy, how labor and delivery went, everything postpartum. So first we're going to put the baby down for a nap, and we'll be back with the Q&A. That must have been a little tiring, huh? Even though he's 7 pounds, he's kind of heavy. All right, you ready?
So these, I've never heard these questions before.
Yeah.
She doesn't know the answers to these.
No. So this is going to be interesting.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions. Okay, question number 1. Were you nervous or scared watching the birth of Santino? Because this is something that we talked about. I had asked him, obviously, before I gave birth, are you going to look at him, coming out?
And I for sure wanted to look. That was my choice. Or was it my choice? I guess in the grand scheme of things, I didn't have the choice. The doctor's like, hold leg now. And I was like, okay. And I just held the leg. But I did want to, prior to that, of course, I did want to see. That's something you only see once in a lifetime. So I'd say I was both. I was scared. I do good with blood.
Yeah.
I was just more scared to see her in pain. But this wasn't the case. Obviously, she didn't feel anything, and it happened so quick. So during the time, it was more excitement. It was a nervous excitement. Kind of felt like jumping off a cliff. It was that type of feeling. And then.
So that's a good thing. You're not scared of. You don't get queasy with blood.
No, and guys, if you are queasy, guys or women, and if you're watching a significant other give birth and you are queasy, this isn't the picture for you.
Because I feel like it can go both ways. One way, it's the most beautiful thing to watch and experience. And then on the other side, it could be like kind of traumatizing.
Yeah, so it wasn't traumatizing for me. I thought it was beautiful. I don't know, I'm a junkie for that stuff anyway. So it wasn't, it was exciting.
I'm glad you watched. It is a beautiful thing to experience. It's natural.
Yeah. But don't feel bad if you don't feel like you're capable of watching that, because like I said, it's not for the faint of heart, and you don't want to ruin the experience for your significant other. They just pushed out a baby and they're freaking peeling you off the floor like a
God
sticker.
forbid. Okay, next question. And you can be honest with this one too, because this is... I don't know. Did Santino have to be born for you to feel like it's real?
Yes.
Because it's a different connection for moms. I mean, we grew the baby. The baby, my belly was his home for a while. So we had that bond and connection already. So was it different?
Yes, I did have to wait for that to happen on all types of scales. So like even like nesting, Taylor's very big into nesting, and I'm like, baby's not even here yet, relax. She's like, we must get laundry done, all this must be clean.
Yeah, the nursery needs to be perfect, spotless, organized.
I mean, if you saw the opposite side of this camera, we have like a pyramid of diapers and baby wipes. And I'm like, we'll organize that later. Now that he's here, it became real, and like everything's organized, everything's in its spot, everything has a purpose. Like I said, I think now that he's here in person physically,
it feels a little bit more real.
Yeah, it's definitely more real.
Oh, this is a good one. I know your answer for this.
Oh, you do?
Just, do you think I'm different since becoming a mom?
Oh, 100%, 1000%. You became more nurturing, and it's amazing to see that, to see her take care of something and do it just remotely. It's almost like you've done it for plenty of babies before. And it's amazing to see that. So you 1000% have changed. Very nurturing, she's very caring, she's very meticulous with what she does now. We have a schedule to everything. Everything is in its spot, it serves a purpose. Before baby, we were kind of, even myself, we were kind of like, we'll work it out, or it'll work itself out. And now we're like, no, there's no room for error here. It has to be done the right way, or it's not gonna get done at all.
So true. This is a good one. Last one. Did your dad reflexes kick in automatically?
Yes. So I have a funny story with this. Well, she has a funny story.
Yeah.
So apparently, Santino does that. It's called active sleeper. He's not a... So he's asleep right now. So Santino's an active sleeper. There's active sleeper and...
restful sleeping.
Restful sleeping. So he's an active sleeper, which means that he will fuss, moan, stretch as he's sleeping. It sounds like he's wide awake. He's not.
Yeah, it was so scary for us in the beginning because he would make these noises and we would hop right out of bed like, is he okay? And just to make sure that, is he awake? Is he okay? Is something going on? But he'd be sound asleep.
Yeah, so it apparently the first night or the second night?
I think it was like the second night.
The second night, apparently he had like a little fussy moment like that in the middle of his sleep. And Taylor says I popped up out of my sleep, got up, picked him up, and like, what did I do?
Rocked him for a little bit.
I don't remember doing that at all. I must have been half asleep, which is scary but funny at the same time.
Yeah.
So I guess that's your answer. My dad reflexes did kick in.
Yep, 100%.
And even like myself, I kind of feel like, I can defend myself in this cruel world now I need to defend for someone else, and that was also like I drive a lot slower now. Like I'm on the right lane. Now I see why people put a sticker "baby" on board in the back of their cars, because I'm like, dude, slow down. There's a baby in here. So that also kicked in. You know, I say I wanted to have like a Montessori style of upbringing, you know, and parenting, but I noticed myself being a little bit of like a helicopter dad right now, and I need to change that. There's some pros and cons to it, but yeah, those also kicked in, you know. And that's another thing. Whatever you say you're gonna do before the baby's here, you can kiss that goodbye.
Yeah, seriously.
It's all garbage.
Yeah.
Until your baby's here.
You really don't know. You think that you have all these plans and you're gonna be one certain way, but you don't know how your baby's gonna be, and you don't know how you're gonna be after, you know, giving birth and meeting your baby. I mean, we talked about plenty of things.
We're like, he's gotta learn. He'll figure it out.
How we wanted to raise him.
My parents are touching his face, and I'm like, no touching of the face, please. Yes. And I'm like, did you guys sanitize? Did you guys wash your hands? You know, so it's definitely it definitely changes your world in a good way.
Definitely.
In a great way. And I wouldn't want to have it any other way. You know, we really lucked out. Taylor gave birth to the easiest baby ever.
It's like a world record.
Yeah, it must be. He's a breeze. He wakes up twice in the middle of the night, you know. Yeah,
he's on a pretty good schedule for now.
Yeah, he's awesome. He loves bath time. I mean, what baby loves bath time?
He's aqua baby. He loves the water.
Which is great because we love the water too. This is a good segue actually. Let's talk about what's next for us.
Definitely.
So, I'll start off with this.
Yeah.
We have thought about starting this YouTube channel for years now.
Yes.
Us moving to Utah kind of lit that flame and kind of, I hate to say, but separated us from like the negative people that we lived with back in our home state. You know, we feared judgment plenty of times. We cared too much about what other people thought about us, so why we would YouTube. And moving out here gave us that platform to kind of separate ourselves from all that and just live our life. And it was the greatest thing ever. And my biggest advice to someone is, if you have a dream, don't do what we do, because we wasted years of not YouTubing and years of great experiences. Just do whatever it is. If it's a business, you know, if
anything.
Schooling, whatever it is, pursue it. I'm telling you, it's worth it.
Yeah.
So we started this channel about a year ago. Almost a year ago, 10 months ago.
Yeah.
And in the midst of all that, we also planned on starting a podcast. So if you guys enjoyed the sit down and you guys would like to see a podcast from us, please drop a like, drop a comment, let us know yes, that you're for it. This way we know that we have your support. It's something that we're still planning, but we've had it in the books now for a year. We actually named this podcast a year ago, July.
Yeah, we have like the whole concept of what we want to do. It would be more real and raw.
Yeah.
Honest talks about current events.
Inspiring stories. Sad stories. We're working on getting gear that would better suit us for this, because we'd like to interview other people. We would interview, live in different states.
Right.
So we'd have to find a way to make that work for us. But yeah, podcast is in the books for us. We're not going to rush it. We want to make sure that we tackle this first, and then we will tackle that next and
Absolutely.
plan that. But yeah, podcast, drop a like, drop a yes, drop a thumbs up. Let us know what you think. And if it's not for us, do it for Santino. You know, a like could save Santino's life.
That's right.
What's next for us, Mama?
What's next? As of right now, we are planning a vacation to Florida. Santino's first vacation to Orlando.
It's our favorite place. We're going to go to Sarasota, Florida. Our in-laws, her parents, are looking to move there. We have, guess we'll say it. We have future business there. So we were gonna go out there and survey the area, and our hearts told us, no, we're not ready for that just yet. Let's go back to Orlando. We have plenty of foodie spots that we'd like to hit. We have downtown Disney, which we love shopping there,
yes.
which would be great for Santino. He enjoys long walks, believe it or not.
He just enjoys being in his stroller.
Yeah, he enjoys the stroller. He goes out instantly. He
loves the fresh air.
Yeah, loves the sun, loves the fresh air. Of course, we monitor how much sun he gets.
Yeah.
Because here in Utah it does get hot, sun is strong. But we figured, you know what, Orlando would be a better place for us. And I know he's probably too young for this, but we probably will end up going to Disney just because.
It's more for us anyway, like
Yeah.
seeing our baby at Disney.
Of course. So
But,
podcasts,
yes.
more travel, and more travel in Utah.
Yeah,
you know?
our Utah bucket list.
We get a lot
gotta
of good
check some things off our list.
Yeah, we get a lot of good feedback on the food that we eat here, cool restaurants.
Yeah, our Utah foodie spots, and
Definitely want to hit a few national parks.
so let's continue the vlog and we'll take you guys through our night. So it's currently around 6 o'clock. Santino and I just got in from our walk. We just did a walk around the community. I try to get him out every day, and me too, just to get some fresh air. And now he is playing with his little fishies on his play mat. It lights up and sings music and everything. So adorable. James is currently at jiu-jitsu, and so I'm going to get dinner ready for us. Tonight we're making cilantro lime chicken tacos. It's the taco kit from Costco that you can get, and I'm gonna make a side of Spanish rice. We'll show you guys after. This is the taco kit I'm talking about. We're trying it for the first time tonight, so hopefully it's good. It looks good. Okay, now it is time to get Santino boy ready for a bath and put him down to bed. Tonight, James and I are probably just going to watch some Netflix on the couch and probably pass out within 5 minutes, because that's what happens nowadays. But that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you guys in the next one. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already.